Alright friends, welcome back to the Lore and Legend series. This is The Specialist, and we are in the Northern Undead Asylum, or the Undead Asylum to the north, however you want to look at it. An unknown knight has just dropped something through the cell door here. We are about to get underway. So we pick up this key here. Key to the dungeon of the Undead Asylum to the north. A mysterious knight, without saying a word, shoved a corpse down into the cell. On its person was this key. Who was this knight? What was his purpose? There may be no answers, but one must still forge ahead. As I mentioned in a previous video, that is supposed to be Oscar of Astora, although he remains unnamed. And he was supposed to have a greater purpose in the game, but they kiboshed a lot of that. I love this because you can see a future boss here, future optional boss. If you choose to come back and visit the asylum, you can take him on, which we will do. There have been some speculation as to what the purpose of this is. I think it was Epic Name Bros from the Dark series mentioned that he thinks that this guy is maybe guarding, meant to guard, or serve as a test to those who might be trying to escape. I don't think so. I think he's actually a fellow prisoner. I don't think there's a whole lot of evidence to suggest that he's some kind of a guard. I think he's a prisoner, and I think he's stuck in there just as much as we were stuck in down there. And I think once in a while an undead does try to fuck with him and ends up like this. So that won't be us, though. We got this. We got this. We got this. Just chilling. What's up, man? Alright, out here is the very first bonfire that we encounter. This acts as a game mechanic in that you can rest at it and regain your health and stamina and spell use and everything like that. You can also level up at it later on. But it does play a little bit into the lore, as we'll find out a little bit later on once we start to collect some more items. So, you know, just looking around, broken down, desolate, weathered statues, just supposed to be like gargoyles, pig gargoyles or something. Interesting how their heads are sort of tilted that way. Alright, so we pop this door open, and right away you might be tempted to run in and check out what's going on without looking around, but check this out. Another demon, similar to the one that we saw down below. This may be why people think that these guys are here to guard. I still don't think so. I still don't think they're here to guard. I think they're fellow prisoners. I just think this place has been long abandoned, and it's sort of a free-for-all in here. You've got Oscar up on the roof running around, trying to help maybe other undead escape. And then you've got this badass who's just up there waiting. And man, does he ever look ominous. Woo! Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so we run in here. He jumps down on us, and you can fight him here and you can beat him, although there's not a whole lot of purpose in doing so. You don't really get any bonus from it, so you just kind of escape. Bonfire number 2. Remember that this is Dark Souls 1, so to have it actually count, you have to sit down at it. And what I mean by that is you'll find out later. Sometimes you can light a bonfire and then realize that it doesn't count as you having sat down at it. Frustrating as fuck. Anyway. Oh, he's running away. I did a previous playthrough on this, and he actually didn't run. It was the first time I'd ever seen him do that, but he's going to run here. So you're supposed to chase him down. Whew. Oh, even that sound. It's like you stabbed him in the lung or something. Holy. Okay, good old classic From Software through the white wall. And you can come out here. Now that's really cool because you can see an item up there that actually you get a little bit later on in the game, but they want you to see it, which kind of tells you that the creators want you to look around and notice things, because I think a lot of the lore and a lot of the evidence for what is actually happening and going on here can be seen from the environment. It can be seen in the environment. Here's another example. You can come through here and you can actually see a knight if you look carefully. And so, you know, obviously you can't get through here, and there's no other entrance. Although you do kind of see a bit of a broken wall here. And then a staircase, so guess what? Ball trap. Boom. Blows the door open, or a way through. Let's pop down here and open this door up. Okay, so the path is opened up here. We come in here and we find our rooftop buddy, who seems to have either fallen through or been thrown through, one of the two.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out.
I think so. Yeah, why not?
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family: thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the Undead Asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know, and I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask, an undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you. Now I would hate to harm and thank you.
Cool, thanks buddy. Alright, so we're going to take a look at some things. Here's the Estus flask he just gave to us. The undead treasure, these dull green flasks. Fill with Estus at a bonfire, fills up your HP. These Estus flasks are linked to the Fire Keepers. The Dark Tales also make reference. An emerald flask from the Keeper's soul. She lives to protect the flame and dies to protect it further. So this is the only reference to the Dark Tales, and it does tell you a little bit about the Fire Keeper and her soul, which we do encounter a little bit later in the game. Although it's not exactly obvious yet what any of this means. Oscar here also mentions that, you know, it's been passed through his family, that a chosen undead must ring the bell of awakening. We don't even know why at this point. It's not clear as to why we have to do these things or why the undead have to do these things. And so, once again, everything is still a little bit shrouded in mystery, which should tell you something. It should tell you something, that things aren't obvious. So we just heard him die. What's up, playa? Boom. First parry of the playthrough, baby. Okay, so we open this key with the Asylum F2 East key. Key to the iron bars on the east side of the second floor of the Undead Asylum. We just opened that up. The Undead Asylum is a giant undead prison, segmented by countless iron bars. Even if an undead were to escape from a cell, passage to the outside world would not be gained easily. Yeah, that's probably true. There's been some comments here on whether North Undead Asylum refers to the fact that there are several asylums, and this is the northern one. I don't think so. I think it just means there's an Undead Asylum, and it happens to be north of Lordran, which is indicated here, Undead Asylum to the north. I don't think there's any evidence to think that there's several Undead Asylums. If you want to imagine that there are, I suppose that's fine. Sorcerer's Catalyst. So now we can sling some magic. What's up? What's up? Even that maneuver, it's just so messed up. It's frantic. It's dirty. So these are probably fellow prisoners. Oh, they just die in such a creepy way. Okay, now we come through here. We find this guy, a little bit of an upgraded undead. Sometimes he drops an item, sometimes not. Now this door is locked, and it leads to the item that we spied a little bit earlier on. So this tells us it's locked. My first instinct is, well, we must be able to come back here once we get a few other items. Tutorial shit. And through the fog gate to the boss. Now this is the first demon enemy type that you encounter. And, oh, I forgot to equip the catalyst. Shit. I no problem. Oh! A little rusty, boys. Bait, bait, bait. Heal, heal, heal. Now he throws a few different attacks at you depending on how far away you are from him. Easily dodgeable. You just have to watch the head of the hammer. This is usually a freebie. He just kind of lands on his ass and you can get a couple shots in. Ain't no thing. And you miss like a chump. Here's the thing about Dark Souls as well. I mean, I've played this hundreds of times. I've beat this guy flawlessly. And then there's times where this guy's just whipped my ass. It's incredible how it goes. You can be the best Dark Souls player in the world, if there is such a thing, and still get your ass kicked. It's awesome. Yeah, you just get hit like that. Bullshit. Cool, so this guy goes down, he gives you the big Pilgrim's Key. Victory achieved. Got some humanity. Sometimes you can get lucky and he drops the demon hammer. No problem, maybe we'll pick it up later on. So what did we get? We got some humanity. Rare black sprite found on corpses. Used to gain 1 humanity and restore a large amount of HP. The black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? Interesting. Go deep on some philosophy there. Big Pilgrim's Key. Key to the inner door of the Undead Asylum in the main hall. Big key belonging to a chosen undead pilgrim. But this chosen undead knows not what this pilgrimage has in store. I've often wondered who the narrator is supposed to be there. Like, who is writing these descriptions? Maybe it's just an aside. I've even thought maybe, you know, it's the undead himself later after the game is done. I don't know. You don't know, right? But it's still cool as shit. Okay, pop down in here. Be careful, don't throw yourself off the ledge. It's a long way down. Lost soul. Now, let me just say something about the atmosphere here. Look at the sky, gray. There's a little bit of snow on the ground. Like, you can almost feel it. I live in Canada, and this scene here reminds me very, very much of, March, April in Canada when there's still snow in the ground. You can almost smell the moisture in the air. It's cold. It's biting cold. It's meant to be lonely. It's meant to be... Yeah, it's just it's abandoned. So interesting. Graves. Just adds to the atmosphere. Let me show you this first before we get on out of here. Just down there on the edge, right over there, you can see a large nest. That's where we're going to be trading some items for better ones. Ah, just so cool. You can hear the wind blowing. You can hear what, maybe thunder in the background. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the wind. But this is the stuff that the other Dark Souls don't... They forgot to put it in or something, man. Like, it adds to the wind. Now, if you've been in a lonely, desolate place and you've heard the wind like this, it creates a certain feeling. Again, some of the reason why this game is just unbelievable. How good it is. Okay, here we go.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Cool effect on the voice there. Really, really interesting because an undead is chosen. So is it just one? Is there only supposed to ever be one? Well, it's fascinating because, you have several people on pilgrimage to Lordran, and you can see one. God, this is cool. Blue sky. That's really cool. Firelink Shrine, the famous music. Kindle. Who the hell knows what that means when you first land here? Okay, so there's another guy sitting here. So is he also a pilgrim? What's that about? I thought maybe we were the only one. Is he from here? We'll find out. Check out the crow. The crow's up there. So why a crow? Or is it a raven? It's hard to tell. It's huge, so who knows? Anyway, why? Well, there's a connection between ravens or crows with the goddess Velka, who will be introduced to you a little bit later on. Certainly in the painted world of Ariamis, you have crow-like people. And so one wonders what that means. I have some ideas. I got some cool ideas. I don't think anybody's ever said them before. Not that I've discovered. So I got some really cool interpretations. Man, this place. Oh, the memories that flood back. And the music. FromSoft, you nailed this. You did it perfectly. This looks so good. And although the remastered bonfires look really great, by the way, I think it looks great. People were pissed off. They were saying, hey, why are we paying money for something that's essentially the same? I don't think it's the same. I think it's really good. I think they did a great job remastering this game. I have no complaints. I think if they changed too much, everybody would still be pissed off. People are going to be pissed about everything anyway. It doesn't matter what you do. Okay, so we're in Lordran right now. I'm going to end this video right here. We came from the asylum. We are on pilgrimage. Are we the chosen undead, or are we one of many? We're gonna find all that out. Who's Velka? Why the hell is there a crow that's bringing us here? Who's this guy? What's the Firelink Shrine? Why do I hear a bell ringing in the background? Why are there several directions to go? I don't know where to go. I know where to go. I'm just trying to recreate that first time experience, brothers and sisters. Okay, until next time, friends. Lore and legend, this is The Specialist. Talk soon.